mathematicians. Today we're going to talk about comparing three-digit numbers. So our goal today is to be able to decide or determine which number is larger and smaller in three-digit numbers. We're going to start with a review of comparing two-digit numbers. So we're going to compare 37 and 58. I have them modeled here for us. And so I have 37, 3 tens and 7 ones, 58, 5 tens and 8 ones. And we're going to decide which one is the biggest. So we're going to look in the tens place first. 37 has 3 tens. 58 has 5. Which one is bigger, 3 or 5? That's right, 58. So the 5 tens is bigger, so our comparison symbol will go this way, and it will read 37 is less than 58. 37 is smaller than 58. 58 is bigger, more, greater. So 37 is less than 58. I want to introduce to you a new strategy for comparing today. That's using an HTO chart, hundreds, tens, and ones, just our regular place value chart. How in the world is that going to help us? Well, you're just going to put your numbers in there, and then it makes it easier to compare them when we can move to more of an abstract method of doing it. So 37 is going to go in here. The 3 is going to go in the tens place. 7 is going to go in the ones place. 58, we'll put it right up underneath. 5 tens and 8 ones. So we compare the biggest digit or the greatest digit, and that's in the tens place. We don't have anything in the hundreds place. So we compare the tens place. We compare the 3 to the 5. Which one's bigger? 5. If they were the same, we would go on and compare the ones place. So it's the same work we're doing here. We're just doing a little bit more thinking inside of our head, a little bit more abstractly than the concrete work that's here on the table before us. So today we're going to step it up a notch and compare some three-digit numbers. The first two numbers that we're going to compare are 123 and 321. So I'm going to build these numbers for you. 123, there's our 100 board. How many tens? 2, that's right. And 3 ones. There's 123. And now 321. 100, 200, 300, 10, 20, and 1. So we've got 321 there. And we can just compare the two. We look at the largest digit or the greatest digit. That's the number in the hundreds place on these numbers. So we're comparing this 1 to the 3. The value of this 1 is 100. The value of this 3 is 300. Which one is greater or smaller? However you want to think about it. The 3 is greater. 300 is way bigger than 100. So the numbers the numbers are not the same, so we didn't have to compare the next digit. So the next place. So 123 is smaller than 321. So our symbol would go this way, right here. And we read it as 123 is less than 321. So the larger number is 321. Okay, now I'm going to compare a little bit more, some more numbers. And we're going to move to a little bit more abstract work. Instead of using all of the base 10 blocks, I've drawn them out for us because it does get to be a lot when you have all of those base 10 blocks everywhere, and it does get confusing. And you don't have that many at home, so we couldn't use that to do that. So I want you to build these numbers with me. Our first number is 525, and I've drawn 5 hundreds, 2 tens, because there's 2 in the tens place, and 5 ones. And then our other number that we're comparing it to is 358. 3 hundreds, 5 tens, and 8 ones. So I want you to pause the video here and build this number with me. Okay, now that you have it built, we're going to compare it and see which one is the best. Okay, how many hundreds do we have over here? We have 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And how many hundreds over here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're not the same. So we're going to, we don't have to go to the next digit here. So which one is greater? 525 or 358? That's right, 525. So we have our symbol here that we have to use that shows if it's greater than or less than. If I point it this way, then that is telling us that 525 is less than 358. Is that true? No, it's not. 525 is greater than 358, so it would have to go this way. 525 is greater than 358. You can use your cards to model this as well. Okay, now we're going to compare this same 525 to another number right here. We're going to compare 525 to 552. Same numbers. They have a 2 5s and a 2 and 2 5s and a 2. Same numbers, but they're in different places. So now we're going to compare these. All right, let's look at our biggest digit, which is the hundreds place. This number has 525 has 5, and 552 has 5. So that's the same. Just like in ABC order, like we talked about in the other lesson, when the first letter is the same, we look at the second letter. And in this case, these letters are the same, so we have to compare the third letter. So let's compare the next place. We compared the hundreds place first, and now let's compare the tens place. 525 has 2 tens. 552 has 5 tens. So they're not the same. Even though their hundreds places are the same, the tens places are not the same. We're comparing these 2 tens and these 5 tens. So which is greater? The 2 or the 5? Most definitely the 5. So 552 is going to be the larger number, and our symbol is going to be open to that side. And remember, it's pointing this way, saying, "Hoo, hoo, hoo, look at that cute little number." And so this is how the symbol would go here. Now, I want to use our HTO chart here to compare these. And let's look at it. Let's see. I'm going to put 525 in there, the 5, the 2, and the 5. And then 552. 552. First thing I'm going to do is compare the hundreds, the 5 and the 5, just like I did here with the drawings. They're the same. So we move on and look at the 10 sticks. 525 has 2. 552 has 5. So they're not the same. So 552 would be the larger number. So the HTO chart, using that to compare numbers, is just a little bit more abstract and not seeing it as concretely as the drawings. And then so we would say 525 is less than 552. Okay, so stop there and you can build that. Alrighty, we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to compare some big numbers this time. Going to compare 876 and 899. 876 to 899. All right, so let's look at it. We're going to compare the biggest place first. So in these two numbers, that case is the hundreds place. And this 8 is worth 800, and this 8 is worth 800. So far, that's equal. That's the same. One's not bigger than the other. 800s, 800s. So now we compare the next digit, which is the tens place in this number. 876 has 7 tens. 899 has 9 tens. And you can see that in our drawing. There's 7 here. There are 9 here on this side. And so they are not the same. So those are the two numbers we compare. Now, they're both pretty large numbers, lots of tens there, but one is bigger than the other. Which one is bigger, the 7 for 70 or the 9 for 90? That's right, the 9 for 90. So which way should our symbol go? Well, let's see. If I put it this way, then that means it would be pointing this way, and it would be pointing. Is that the cute little number? No, that's the big one. So I have to turn it this way so that the open side is going over here and the pointed side is going over here. So it's open to the bigger number. And we would word that 876. Oh, I lost my other little card. Anyway, we would say 876 is less than, oh, here it is less than 899. Now, if they were reversed, if 899 was on this side, we'd have to switch the symbol and then use the other one. 899 is greater than 876. So it depends on which side they're on, which way the symbol goes. Okay, and now got one other thing that you're going to do in your seesaw assignment. Oh, you know what? I really wanted to do this. I forgot this part. Let's go back. I really want to compare it in the HTO chart. So let's go back and do that. We've got 876, 899. So the HTO chart just kind of lays it out for us. In the hundreds place, we have an 8 and an 8. They're the same. So we can't compare those because they're equal. They're equal that far. So then we look in the tens place, the 7 and the 9, and it's bigger. So the HTO chart will help you with your thinking here. Okay, so now in Seesaw, you're going to see this paper in just a minute. And this is just some good old practice with this. You know what? Let me adjust my camera. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay. All right, so I'm going to do a couple of these with you. So there's a blank in the middle of these numbers, and it says, write less than, greater than, or equal on each line, equal to. So we're going to compare a couple of these, and we might use an HTO chart for some of them. 234 plus 432. So I'll use the HTO chart. And you can use a scratch sheet of paper and use these to help you. So 234, 432. Okay, so we're going to compare the largest digit that we have in this number, the largest place, which is the hundreds place. So we're comparing the 2 and a 4. Which one's bigger? There we go. That one, we don't even have to look at the tens place because the numbers in the hundreds place, the largest place that we have, are not the same. So 432 is the largest. So we're going to put our symbol in there like this. So 234 is less than 432. And now the other one, 55. Now be careful here. This is comparing a 2-digit number to a 3-digit number. 55 and 231. So technically, how many hundreds are in 55? 0, right? So you can't put a 0 there, or you could just leave it empty. So we're going to compare the hundreds place here. Which one is larger, 0 hundreds or 2 hundreds? Absolutely. You cannot compare the 2 to the 5. That's two totally different things. Because think about it. Would you rather have $200 or $50? Most definitely 2. Even though 2 is a smaller number, the place that it's in makes its value 200. So our sign would go there. Okay. So that's how you're going to do the top section. Okay. Take your time and work through those. On this next section, Instead of using the symbol, it says write out the words is greater than, is less than, or is equal to. So instead of using a symbol, we'll just write out the words like 45 compared to 300. 45 compared to 300. Well, that makes it easy because 300 is a 3-digit number and 45 is a 2-digit number. So it's most definitely going to be 300 is the bigger one. So which words do we use? Is greater than or is less than? 45 is greater than 300. 45 is less than 300. It's going to say 45 is less than 300. So I'm going to write out the words is less than. Now let's read it and see if it makes sense. 45 is less than 300. Very good. Okay. And this next one, circle the greater number in each pair. So this one you're not going to draw the symbol. It says to circle it. Okay, 678, 234. Well, let's compare those. We draw a HTO chart here. I don't have any more drawn, but I'll draw you one. Let's see. HTO, hundreds, tens, ones. We have 678, 234. So there are 600s and 678 and 200s and 234. And most definitely 6 is bigger than 2, so you would just circle that. The bottom part is just a word problem. It says read and answer the questions. Jan and her sister Cindy went bowling. Jan bowled a score of 161. Cindy bowled a 158. Who got the higher score? Well, let's compare it. And a HTO chart. You could model these out with your base 10 blocks as well. Okay, 161 for Jan and 158 for Cindy. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Let me zoom out. Okay, so let's compare our greatest place, which is the hundreds place. The 1 and the 1, they're the same, so we can't compare those. They're equal. So we compare the tens place. 6 and a 5. Are they the same? No, they're not. One of them is greater, 161. So whoever got 161 is the winner. So the question says, who got the higher score? You're not going to write 161. The question says who. A who question asks for a person. So it says Jan bowled a score of 161. So on the line, you're going to write Jan. Okay? Now, if you have persevered and watched this video to the very end, when you do your paper right up here, if you will put a smiley face somewhere near the top of the paper, you are getting 5 bonus points just for watching the video all the way to the end. Congratulations! Can't wait to see your work.